Today we are visiting the Tribal Lifestyle of Northeast India Gallery. We'll be looking at few artifacts from various states of Northeast India, and we'll also be meeting the assistant curator of the gallery who would be taking us around the gallery and introducing us to different artifacts from different states of Northeast India.
Welcome to the Northeast Gallery. So we are going to start this tour with the first showcase. The central figure depicts the Chutturdam dance costume, which is a ritualistic pantomime performed by the Monpa tribe during the Torgia festival practiced in the Tawang monastery. Monpas are the Buddhist community of Tawang and Dirang Dong area of Arunachal Pradesh. They follow the Mahayana sect of Buddhism. They celebrate different monastic pantomimes and mythical dance forms which are influenced by the Buddhist communities of Tibet, Bhutan or Sikkim. Pantomimes are traditionally performed in the premises of Tawang Monastery, where monks in the elaborate costume and mask invoke wrathful deities and protectors. The Chutturdam dance costume is designed as a skeletal figure paired with a skull mask, symbolizing the ritualistic association with the charnel grounds. These masked figures portray the journey of the departed soul by showing how the soul after death is received in the other world. They dance amidst the rhythm of cymbals and trumpets. A form of the skeleton dance is also known as Durdog Cham among the Gelguk and Nyingma Buddhists of Arunachal. This dance form showcases the myth of Durgtor Dagpo, the guardian who protected the Gelguk tradition for ages. It aims to drive away from the evil spirit and ensure prosperity, good weather, along with the material and spiritual blessings. The accompanying figures are wearing traditional brocaded robes with Tibetan motifs, Monpa shawls, and headgears decorated with animal fur.
We have just visited the beautiful place of Tawang, which is in Arunachal Pradesh. From Tawang, we are now moving towards our next showcase, and we are going to explore a beautiful neck ornament which belongs to the Sema tribe.
This neck decoration, known as Aminihu, among the Sema male community, is made of wild boar's tusk. As you can see, it comprises of two boar tusks whose ends are bound with split cane threads, while the frontal side is decorated with a piece of the conch set with a carnelian bead. Similarly, a smaller piece of a conch with a bead is fixed at the back with a drawstring functioning as a fastener. Technically, the making of such collars is simple, involving a combination of two 6 boar tusks matched for size and curvature. This is a distinctive neckband embedded with social and ceremonial significance. A similar type of neckband is also worn by other ethnic communities of Nagaland, such as Aos, Changs, Lotas, Tangkhuls and Sangtams, and at times by the Angamis too. In the Ao dialect, it is termed as Shipu Ziku, which can be worn only by the warriors. They wear it protecting their necks from cut during an expedition. Today, such ornaments can be perceived as memoirs of the splendid past of Naga heritage and the lifestyle of the brave warriors of the headhunter community of Nagaland.
Now let's look at our third artifact, which is also from the state of Nagaland.
This is a representative model of the Morong, or the youth dormitory of the Naga community, made up of cane, grass and bamboo, intricately imitating the architectural configuration and the artistic components. Morong is the key social institution of any Naga community, but its importance varies between different groups. Primarily, it functioned as a bachelor's dormitory that used to be the most important component in the community's social constitution and development. In a headhunter's village, the Morong acted like a repository of weapons, war booty, and memorabilia of victory, which included human and animal skulls and relics of the elderly. Besides, there is also a chief artistic hub where elements of Naga heritage, that is carving, techniques of warfare, hunting, etc., are practiced and passed to the next generation. Cultural events of the annual festival were observed in the open space of Morong, where villagers participated. People offered prayer in the main pillar as they believed this space to be consecrated and pure and powerful. The pillars of Morong are carved with striking illustrations of tigers, hornbills, human figures, monkeys, lizards, and elephants, etc. The main entrance of the Morong was decorated with an animal skull or a mithun or buffalo, or sometimes with a carved human skull, which is also replicated in this miniature model.
So now we are traveling back to Arunachal Pradesh and we would be exploring a very beautiful bamboo basket used by the Khamti community of Namsai district.
Now you are looking at a fen, a basket which is very popular among the Khamti community of Arunachal Pradesh. The fen or rice tray is used as an important item in the household ceremonies and also in the Buddhist monastic ritualistic practices. Offerings made in these baskets is considered as a mark of purity. The basket comprises of 3 elements: the lid, the tray, and a stand. The offering tray has an additional circular shaped stand fixed at the bottom. The cone-shaped lid with a pointed knob helps in easy handling as well as carries artistic symbolism. It is interesting to note that both these elements emulate the formation of Buddhist ritual metal jars. Apart from the usage, the technique and aesthetic presentation are also intriguing. To make it more aesthetically pleasing, the surface is painted in blue vegetable dye. The rim of the lid and the base of the tray is decorated with a combination of floral and vegetal motifs, and the stand is also painted matching with the rest. Considering the flexibility and pliancy of the raw material, the large array of shapes and forms can be achieved and can be used in variety of ways. These baskets weaving technique were learned by heart and passed down through the generations.
Let's visit the land of Jewel, Manipur, and look at a very beautiful shawl used by the Meitei community.
This traditional textile fabric is celebrated as Safi Lafi, woven by the Manipuri Meitei ladies. Earlier, it was presented by the king of Manipur as a token of respect to the brave warriors for their military expertise or to the Naga chieftains who gained material affluence. In the local dialect, Safi indicates the fabric of animal and war. It is a product of Khoisan lineage. Origin of this fabric dates back to the reign of the king Khoyu Tompok, which is around 3rd century, when it was first presented to the Khulakpa or the village chief for his victorious performance in a battle. According to the folklores, once the king saw a man draping this Safi Lamfi and riding a horse. Soon he decided to adopt this unique style of weaving work to honor the brave Naga chiefs of Manipur. This black colored fabric boasts embroidery work depicting elephants and horses at the center, the royal animal of Meitei rulers. The adjacent 2 other bands show abstract shaped butterflies. These designs are drawn in a set of arrangement revealing the story of victorious battles. As mentioned in the manuscript, Loimpa Silen, King Loimpa of Manipur, approved the Khoinsam family to prepare and weave this textile. Unmarried girls of Khoinsam families weave this handicraft textile, which is an example of age-old relation among the diverse communities living in the state. Today this was a short tour in the Northeast Gallery, and next I will be taking you to the Musical Instruments Gallery.